Hi there. Welcome back. Or maybe it's just welcome. My name is Deb Sherritt, and this is my podcast, What I Find Funny. This podcast is all about the exploration of funny, not just the laughter side of it, but the strange and coincidental side of life that, well, frankly, may or may not be funny, but could make you think, well, that's funny. So, take these next few minutes, grab a comfy chair and whatever beverage you wish, while I offer up a life experience that was, in my opinion, funny. This episode is all about bad fashion choices. And for someone who once considered herself a fashionista, I came from pretty humble beginnings fashion-wise. It takes time for someone to mature and evolve into their own style, if they ever get there at all. Not everyone has a good sense of style, and if they do, it's either because they were born with it or, like me, made enough bad choices that good ones started to make better sense. Am I not making sense? Well, I will. Have a listen. Back in my early 20s, I was dating a man who would eventually become my husband, and then my ex-husband, but because we were only dating, I'll refer to him as boyfriend. Now, at the time this story takes place, we were still quite besotted with one another, and I was always dressing to impress him. Oh, I know. My thinking's changed quite a bit since then, so suffice it to say I'm not the same person, but at the time, I always made sure I looked my very best whenever I was going to see him. It was my decision to do that, so I don't blame that on him in the least. Not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that sometimes I didn't dress appropriately for the occasion, and that's exactly what happened when I showed up at his door to go mud bogging. At the time, I really wasn't sure what mud bogging was. He'd told me we were staying in the truck and we wouldn't be leaving it at all, so I wasn't concerned about what I was wearing. After all, his truck was very clean. Although he tilted his head to the side when he saw me, but to his credit, it didn't ask any questions on my fashion choice. What he did do was hand me an 8-week-old Great Dane puppy who couldn't be left alone at home, so we were having to bring her with us to go mud bogging. As I carried the puppy to the truck, boyfriend prepared a few things to bring along and loaded up the back cab with our essentials. We weren't camping, so it was only provisions for the evening, and we were being joined by a few friends, so I was excited to have this first-time experience and looked forward to the night ahead. We didn't drive more than 5 minutes before the boyfriend turned into a lot off the road. We were still inside the city, but it was quite late at night, in the summer, and the lot was pitch black. The boyfriend drove off to one side as the rest of our friends made their way there with their trucks and pulled in. Once we had all gathered, boyfriend hit the gas and we headed into what I can only describe as deep, thick mud. The puppy and I were being jostled all over the place, no matter how much I tried to hold on to her, poor thing. Boyfriend explained that I needed to allow the jostling to roll through me as if I were riding a camel. Well, that wasn't a lot of help considering I'd never ridden a camel before, and I don't think he had either, but anyway, he explained to just loosen my hips and go in the direction of the truck. So once I figured out how to not snap my spine and allow the puppy to sit comfortably with me, I really actually started to enjoy it. Boyfriend was very in tune with his truck and would maneuver and navigate it all over this huge mud lot, complete with little hills and valleys. He was quite skillful. He knew when to take it very slow and creep towards the incline and when to hit the gas so as not to get stuck. And that was something that had never occurred to me, was getting stuck. Which is exactly what happened as we were just about ready to leave. Boyfriend decided one last joyride through the deepest valley, and as he came up he got his wheel rim stuck on a small ledge. Even his friends with their trucks could not pull us up over that ledge, and their thanks for trying was themselves all getting stuck in one form or another. In the end, all of us that ventured out were stuck in the muddy lot, in the pitch black, with only one way out, to walk. Now, Remember, I told you I was not appropriately dressed for this kind of excursion. Well, it wasn't until I had to leave the cab that it became apparent to everyone how inappropriately I was dressed. Boyfriend made his way out of the cab first, reached in behind his seat, and grabbed an intact case of beer. 24 bottles to be exact. My face froze as I realized that I would have to carry the puppy through the mud because Boyfriend had obviously chosen his priority. I grabbed the puppy and inched my way over to my boyfriend's open door to slide myself and the puppy out and down into the sloppy mess. The round of gasps I heard was deafening. They could all see my mistake straight away, and with it being so dark, I was grateful I couldn't see their faces. No one said a word to me as I turned to take my first step and immediately lost my shoe in the deep, thick, heavy mud. This was going to be a very, very long walk home. It was probably less than 20 minutes walk to get out of the lot, and then another 15 or 20 minutes home to the boyfriend's house, where we stripped off in the garage. There was no saving any of my clothing. All was completely mud-soaked, having fallen a few times on the way. My other shoe was lost somewhere deep in the vastness of the thick bog, as was my pride, my sanity, and my desire to ever go mud bogging again. When I told this story to Honey Bunch, the first thing he asked me was, "Well, what was so wrong with what you were wearing? Why were they all so shocked?" And when I told him, he was shocked as well. You see, my outfit wasn't slinky or sexy. It wasn't inappropriate in that way. It was inappropriate because it was all completely white. And that's what I find funny. I may have lost a complete outfit, but I gained the knowledge of never wearing all white to a mud bog, or attending one ever again. Thank you so much for joining me today. I so hope you enjoyed this episode and that you'll consider leaving me a comment, clicking on that like button, and following me for notifications of new episodes and when they're uploaded. But just in case you don't, new episodes are generally uploaded Monday mornings, so you can start your week off with a chuckle from me. This podcast can be found on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean, and all other sites where you'd find podcasts. Not Apple, though. No I in this team. And remember to always find funny where you can, and take care.